and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of the Good Night Podcast. Today we are recording from a new venue with a very special guest. Your guest today, how can I describe him? So your guest is, I would say he's a...
Well, they have visual.
They have visual, but I always give an introduction to the comedian, to the whoever is watching. He is one of the hardest working, kindest man in this scene. I would say, could describe you as an architect. I don't know if anyone has ever told you that you think like an architect. I don't know if you ever hung out with architects.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it. I've never...
you study the terrain, and then you build from the ground up. You're a very smart man.
I do like to be perceptive about stuff. I do like to, especially with like comedy spaces.
Yeah.
I nerd out on what works and how the psychology of the audience and...
Not just a comedy space, but also environments. Like I remember when you started... Ladies and Ben Cardilli, everybody. Ben Cardilli. Sorry, there's so many lights that are distracting me. I'm not getting used. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Very happy
to. Long time
to be on.
Literally, I have people who ask for you to be on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. People have.
My mom's still texting you. I thought you cut it off. What the hell?
It's a situation. Whatever the kids are calling these days. No, I have people like, when are you having Ben? And I'm excited you're here. Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
It's an honor. I love watching it grow from its inception, and it's been a lot of fun to listen to. And with the kids, it's been tough to carve out. Like getting out early is always tough. There's always something that comes up, but eventually you just have to leave them in the middle of the street and hope for the best.
They'll survive.
Yeah.
They'll survive. They have good genes. Isn't that the whole idea? You're like, all right. The way
we're not buying them pants yet. Actually,
well, they make more money.
They're still in onesies.
Ben, guys, before we start, also, if you're watching, this show is recorded live at McKibbin's Irish Pub, where Ben hosts 2 shows, Mondays and Tuesdays, 8 p.m., every Monday, every Tuesday. Very fun nights. Sometimes they get chaotic, which what I love the most about comedy, because you have, like, your Monday is more of an open mic style. Yeah. Tuesday is like pro AM, I would say. Yeah,
I mean, the Mondays, it's introductory level, like for the moment.
So it's fun. You will have fun.
But you still have pros, like you still have like you've come out to people trying new material. It's just like a experimental vibe.
It seems as if I was talking shit about. No, I'm not. It gets chaotic, which what I love.
Yeah,
you get to see new talent just blooming in front of you.
I think some audience members that come back, they actually prefer the chaos of the. You never know what you're gonna get on a Monday, and then Tuesdays it's more when they expect. Yeah, because it's like our best of and our they expect a certain echelon of like the performer.
It's like you're one of the few comics who you were an open micer. We've known each other for like 6-7 years.
Yeah, you were one of the first comics I met.
Yeah,
at McLean's.
Yes, it was at McLean's.
It was at I'm pretty sure I saw you host at McLean's, and I was like, oh, like that. Like I wonder how long it takes to get to that level,
Back then, it was.
Turns out not long. I'm just kidding.
It's a lot of work. I remember this was $20, and it lasted 12 hours as an open mic.
Yeah, I know. That was, but coming from a place of music and like producing shows as a musician, I always thought like that didn't seem like a lot of work. Like, putting a space together. There's no coming in at 3 o'clock for sound check. There's no, lugging 3,000 kilograms of equipment with you and like, calling off work to get to like, it was just people that were saying like, oh my God, like, can you believe like he has to go set up the room or whatever? Like, at least, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and then what? You get to practice all night and do, that's like a no-brainer.
It's funny you bring up music because last week I went to see one of my friends. He's a musician. I went to see him live. And because I always try to find like, oh, what can I learn? And I'm like, man, I'm so lucky I do comedy because I was looking at all the equipment. Yeah. People, it's just, you have the drums and then the pedals and the, oh my God. I'm like,
it's
I'm so
pain.
Happy. Even a mic is optional when I do comedy, truly. I mean, what am I going to suck? Other than that, there's nothing.
Even as the singer. So this is the thing, I was such a different person when I was a musician because as the singer, especially if you want any kind of longevity in it and you're trying to do something, I mean, like, look, if you're just like screaming or rapping or whatever, it's different. I mean, you still have to take care of your voice, but like as someone who is, trying to sing more kind of pop alternative kind of things, I had to take care of my instrument or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I had to, there was days where you can't, you know, on a day of a show, I was so stressed out, I couldn't talk to you that long, I couldn't eat this, I couldn't eat that, I couldn't all this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So when I decided, oh, I can get some of this satisfaction, performance satisfaction, just like going up on a nightly, and it's like once a month you get to perform in your own city, you know. So when I get to go up every night and get all this performance satisfaction, being creative, interacting with audiences, and I don't have to do that. Immediately, I started smoking. I started drinking like a bitch. I'm like, oh, I can do this, and I don't even need my body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then
we
now
lost
it's
Ben for a couple of years, but he's
yeah.
back now. I could tell by your skin, life is good. There's the sparkle is back in your eye. That makes me very happy.
I'm sure you'll add a filter at least or something.
Yeah, this is AI.
You'll do me
actually.
justice,
This
right?
podcast is 100% AI, which is what I've been falling in love with lately.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of flack on it, but man, oh man, have you ever tried using?
I mean, I'm happy to see you happy. Like it's like it's the same way. I think. Remember when Kanye started?
Sorry, what?
Okay, I know. Hard. Okay. Let's go. Pre-Reich Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember
please.
when Kanye put out, was it 808s and Heartbreak?
Yeah.
And everybody was like, this auto tune is out of control.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like. But and there was a big, and as a musician, you know, that was the big talk, was just like, oh my God, like he's making money off this stuff that he didn't learn to sing. And I'm thinking, okay, but he's a producer. He found an instrument that gives him some, you know, autonomy in his production. He doesn't, now it's like way crazier. Yeah. He found this instrument that gave him some autonomy in his production, and he's using it the way only he knows how to, like, kind of, it's like, it's still an instrument. It's still something he's doing, and he's making great. Like, I loved the songs on that album. We were all jamming that album, and we're like, how could he do that? And now it's AI is making music, and, you know, people are super upset about that. And here's a hot take, a controversial take. But before this AI music thing, like, I've been really discouraged about, like, where music has gone anyway. Yeah. Like, even the people that were, you know, looking back at, like, my old music career and how it would have been almost impossible for me to make it with, like, so many voices and all trying to emulate each other. Everyone was emulating each other so closely anyway that I think, like, the rage over a folk band coming out completely AI and showing that it's possible to mirror back this sound, it's like, for me, it's pointing a light on the musicians that are, you know, that are generally commercial and making it work, and being like, look, you guys let yourselves be replicable. You know, you guys let yourselves become
you were AI before AI. You were generic.
Exactly. You were just copying each other's sound. You were trying to rip off the 70s in a way that was more palpable for new audiences and for pop audiences, and you were already killing the soul of music. It's just mirroring it back at you. Like, all you have to do now is make music that's enjoyable, that is not like, that is 100% you. There's still some bands out there doing that, but they're not on the forefront of what we're listening
AI
to,
music.
you know? Yeah, I mean, I want this to be a lesson thing. I don't want to be listening to robots sing for the rest of my life. But I think that it's a fun lesson. I think that it's the way it's making some people sweat and the way it's freaking some people out. They should be looking inward as to, like, why do I think this is going to replace me? It's because I never had anything to say to begin with. And this is like the, you know, so these bands that are like trying to I just need the sound to work so people listen to it, but I have no message, you know. I think I've seen it's forcing people to get back to finding what their true art is, you know, to what makes them different instead of what makes them the same.
Here's where I think that AI, you can still be yourself using AI. I truly think so. For me, it's like it's like when Uber came and everybody was like, oh, everybody loved Uber because it was much cheaper. Yeah. Everybody who's trying to promote it or to promote using, like, you need to make posters, you need to make videos, we're going to go use AI. Yeah. Because it's so expensive to go get a generic poster or a generic ad. You got to put thousands of dollars. Yeah. So this is like the new, or this is the new Uber, and we're trying to replace the taxis.
It is becoming, like, AI, it's still something that's highly recognizable, right? So it's when you see, like, 1,000 posters come out that kind of look the same, you're always being like, but I mean, look, it gets the point across. I guess it's not like
exactly, but this is just the beginning. Right now, I'm using it. For me, it's as if I'm relearning math. So I'm like, all right,
you're coming from this.
Yeah, I'm just learning the tools. Exactly. I'm just learning the tools. I'm learning how to use that tool because I know the future. You won't see any difference. Like, you'll have to literally see a person live on stage to recognize, okay, this is real. and everything you're gonna see online is gonna be modified. It's already modified with the filters and the waist fixing and the booby. Like you're just adding a human. I think.
I mean,
I'm excited to see what I will make with it.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's it. That's going back to the point I made about 808s and Heartbreak. It's like that's someone's use of it will always be the difference, right? It's still a tool that you're using. I think it's
a tool, exactly.
It's a tool.
As long as you
obviously
use it as a tool, it's not an issue.
It's also just the fact that in the workforce, in the creative space, obviously this is going to become prevalent. It's also becoming prevalent in every workforce, in every space, And so anybody who's smart should understand it before they. Before it becomes like you or someone else who understands it, you're going to become replaceable by someone who knows it rather than it itself.
Learn how to use it now. That's what I see. It's like if the monks started complaining that the printing press is taking their jobs. Everybody, of course, the printing press allowed everybody to have books. And AI is allowing everybody to have access to movie creation, poster automation, poster creation. There's so many things that AI can do.
That being said, I'm not going to do it because I am always the last to the plate. I am so lazy. It took me years and years to even get into TikTok. I am not I see a new platform and I'm like the last thing I truly dissected and learned how to use was recording DAWs, just interfaces to produce music. That's when I was really nerded out on that, years and years on just figuring out all this stuff. Since then it's been I think I figured out CapCut and just I don't know. I'm gonna be 38 in a couple of days basically, and I'm just feeling every time there's something new that pops up, I'm like, God damn it, more homework. Leave me alone.
I've always wanted to make movies. But it always seemed like a mountain that I have to climb just to learn, and the equipment and the lighting and the filming and the cameras and the actors. But now, man, it just...
Well, you have to rely on a whole team, and now it's
autonomous. You said it perfectly.
Exactly. You have to
by myself. Yeah.
You can do it by yourself. That's an exciting thing. That's what I think. That's for me when I got into producing music. That was I'd started in bands and then I learned how to work the thing, and I was like, I don't even need my band members. Just the idea of drum samples and things like this and it's I can literally take this vision from A to Z without anything. And I guess that's the same kind of thing you're feeling now with this. It's I have this joke. I have do I need the audience? Do I need the club? Just put it up. Do and people are doing that already. Just talking into their phone, just doing straight to whatever, but you're just illustrating it better.
They're selling out shows and we're not. We're grinding every day in the clubs trying to... I truly believe what will happen, what I'm hoping will happen for me, my goal is that I know some jokes that I write are more visual, and some jokes are jokes that can be said. So I'm trying to, now I have a new platform to take that just idea of a joke and just create it. The future is not going to be craft.
It's just the extension of the meme, the
extension.
The memes got us through the pandemic, I just started comedy, and then we can't perform anymore, and I was just how do I convey my jokes to people? And I just started memeing everything, and then that got boring.
Let's turn these into videos, buddy.
That's it. We can literally go back, and I could just put in these memes and be bring this one to life,
And people do that. They've literally taken memes and they just turn this into a video. But as I said, everything I see now online in terms of AI is just people messing around with the technology. I haven't seen anything that just, this seems new. This blows my mind. It's still everybody's learning how to use, and it's just you're more blown away by the technology than the idea. But I think eventually people with great ideas are gonna come, and the idea is gonna be bigger than the technology. And I can't wait. I'm hoping to be one of those guys.
Seem like the person you're very forward thinking and obviously you come from your background is engineering and that's always going to be exciting, and that's always going to be let's master this new beast. But do you ever think about I don't want to see the generic kind of what could happen, the negative potential of it, but more I was talking to you about that movie I saw, Mountain Head or whatever, how people are using AI to it's very interesting. I don't want to spoil the movie for anybody, but it starts that way anyway. But it's essentially people using AI to to fake a war or to like start a war, basically, to show like fake images and you know and right now we're all playing catch up on how this gets monitored and how social media is like what's their role in kind of censoring, you know, or showing. You have to show that it's AI. Right now there's always the little things, but people are covering up those things, right? The little Sora things, you know, they find a way of putting a tag over it when they put it online. So it's, you know, I've been duped many times being like, oh my God, someone caught that baby. And I'm like, son of a bitch, that's a cabbage.
And you're a 30-year-old man. Imagine your parents. Everything you'll show your parents.
My parents can't send a fucking email, bro. Like,
show your parents.
Hi, Mom and Dad. You are definitely not watching this. I sent you the link. You didn't know how to click it.
I made a video. It's me on a bidet, and I press and I reach enlightenment, and I'm floating in space. And my mom saw it, and she's like, "How dare you post a video of you in your like with my pants down on the toilet?" She's like, "Have some class." What? I'm like, "Mom."
But was it you or was it a robot?
It was a robot. It was AI. It was all AI. I used AI.
Mom, you know the bulge wouldn't be that big. You could have spotted that. You made it.
You know, she was like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Mom, it's not me. These are not my legs. This is not my washroom. It's all fake." But of course, they don't get it. To answer your question, I don't think we're doomed that quickly. Yeah. And every technology that we use, like every phone that we use, is made with child labor.
Sure.
It's just the price of advancement is a lot of people suffering. And I'm like, what are you gonna do? I'm using it for comedy. I'm not using it to topple a regime.
No, for sure. I mean, you're using it for comedy. Someone else is figuring out the same intensity and passion you are to use it for something else. Yeah. That's like the one thing that you gotta. For every reaction, there's a, you know. That's not the right.
But
you get what I mean, you know. It's
you can use a gun to, I don't know, shoot a deer.
Change the channel.
No, you can use a gun to
That's
shoot a
worked
deer.
in movies.
You can use a gun to shoot a deer to feed your family, or you can use a gun to kill your neighbor.
Yeah.
It's the same tool.
Or you can use it as a paperweight. Like you could literally, you know.
Or you can use it as a paperweight.
Exactly. That's why I got my license.
Looking at
these
my
freaking
nice
papers are just flying around my house.
Don't go into Ben's office. God knows what will happen.
No, I get freaked out by stuff. I guess I'm still. It's like I'm a conspiracy theorist who doesn't have the energy to go look it up. I'm literally just like, I'll see. I think I've just over the last little while with the world, I've always believed, and I've had people in my life that were really neurotic about like where this could lead and all this stuff, and I don't want to call them out, but I have people that close to me that, and I've always been on the advocate, like I'm always the devil's advocate, being like, there's got to be a fail-safe. Like definitely people that are creating this are already thinking about these things, and they have things in place to like America. Like America. What happened with what's happening right now in America? I was always arguing on the sake of like the people will never let this happen or this happen, but like with the way things are going, I'm like, I don't believe anybody's is at the wheel anymore. Like it's like there's certain things that or at least not the people.
Well, the oligarchs are at the wheel. If you want to talk conspiracy.
I guess. But
the government work was for the 5 billionaires who control the world.
It seems like the Declaration of Independence or whatever was. It turns out.
What we need.
It was just a zine. It was just an art piece that is to be, like the Bible is to be interpreted. It's like clearly we've moved very far, and people look at the wrong passages to emphasize their plans. You can find anything that supports your argument in any of these documents. So
fear has always been used to get what you want from people, because fears are always rational.
Or just hate, just like giving people the reason
hate is always fear. I've always said it, like, because I grew up at war. I know where fear comes from. I've seen it with my own eyes. Hate, anger, violence, it all starts with fear. And fear is a great tool to control the masses. It's such an amazing tool. If you're a leader, if you don't use fear to control your people, you're not doing it properly.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough.
Exactly. Fear is the number one way to shift people to believe one way or the other. And what's happening right now is that some people have fears in America, for example. Oh, so many immigrants. What are you going to do? Yeah, of course. This is wrong. So many illegal immigrants. That's not good. Of course, some of them are murderers. Of course. You can't say that's not true. So if you use that fear, then you can do whatever you want. You can have the army land in Chicago.
But that's always been on the table, I think. It's what separated America from,
literally nothing new happening. Like this is textbook government.
Yeah.
When I see them, like, yes, of course. I've seen it all my life. They elected their first dictator. It's not a bad thing. You know, I've seen dictatorships in the Middle East. The first 10 years of a dictator is pretty good. He changes things.
Yeah.
He makes things a little better. Some people love him. Some people hate him. It's when he's been doing it for 20 years, and then his children are like decapitating babies for fun.
Well, that's the thing. My father-in-law came from Romania, and you know he.
Oh yeah, Ceausescu.
Oh my God, they
first couple of years, Ceausescu,
they escaped, you know, and with my wife, you know, when she was like 1 or 2 years old, and then they went to.
He was a terrible man.
Belgium, and then they finally came here, and because they'd already learned a bit of French, so they were like, let's go to Quebec, but. He was the first one, like this whole Trump stuff, like, you know, we were watching it as comedians. We were like, this shit's hilarious, you know, like just him getting elected. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe they actually voted him in. And then it was like all this stuff. But he was from the beginning sounding the alarm, like this guy's a maniac. This is what's going to happen. And I was always like, relax, it's funny. There's no way, like, again, fail safes. Like the government's got stuff in place. They're not going to let him turn it into food stamps and whatever. Like, there's no way. And then, you know, but as we've been getting closer, all the stuff he said from the very beginning is happening. And I'm just like, damn, I should call him. It's been a minute.
Trump, America has had many presidents, and I find in my experience is that there are some presidents that are good nationally, and they're terrible internationally, and there's some that are terrible nationally, very good internationally.
Yeah.
It's just that's America. You elect one president who's good in one way, terrible the other way. Jimmy Carter was very good nationally, terrible internationally. That what happened with Iran and the people that died. That's just what happens. Trump is very good internationally.
When he's wearing his home jersey, it's better. His away jersey. They have a bad track record on the road.
On the road, he's doing great. Possibly getting peace in the Middle East. Honestly, I know it sounds weird, but
you really think that comes from him?
I think
you really think that's just not just like more slimy deals being made that
slimy, of course, but
and also isn't it too late? Like
no, it's not too late, dude. They're working also now a peace between Algeria and Morocco. He's good internationally because internationally it's all about deals and slimy deals. What's the only thing that's important for me is that people not dying, and he's good at that because if you want to make money. You gotta be careful how many people die. You know what I mean? You can sell a lot of weapons, but then you're killing one side, the other side is making money.
Yeah.
If you want to make money from both sides, he's very good at that. Internationally, he's doing a good job. Nationally, you have armies running around Chicago, which is like terrifying, and you have hundreds of thousands of people being deported and families being broken.
Exactly. Again, to like what cost? I mean, again, I'm not gonna Google it. I'll just ask you now, and then I'll finish my Coke.
Coca-Cola. Here's the beauty of the world we live in is that he's gonna do 8 years and then he's done.
Yeah.
And then whoever comes after, that's another president. That's the beauty of the world we live in is that.
But do you think he's not fixing to change that? Like, isn't.
Well, exactly.
Of all the rules that have been bent, like, don't you think that's just the final one? Like, after everything's been broken, he's just going to be like, oh, by the way, I'm keeping the keys.
To get there. Well, he said he doesn't want to be king. He has no interest in this. What happens usually is that you form a dynasty. Like the last dynasty what we had was the Clinton dynasty. It failed because Hillary failed. We had the George Bush dynasty where you had the father, the son, his other son who was like governor of Florida, who wanted also to become president. Families become dynasties. As I said, the Clinton wanted to become a dynasty. It didn't work out. So maybe his son will become president or whatever. Oh yeah. But this is how dynasties work. You end up with a. So it's not him.
What, the little Addams Family kid? Which one?
Exactly. He is being. What's his name? The little guy, Barron. Barron Trump is being groomed to be the next president of the United States of America. Mark my words. Hopefully, this podcast will still be happening in 2050.
Did you see that video? Okay, I don't want to go too far into
that's
conspiracy theories.
Please
but did you
bro.
see the video about the book? I saw this. It was like a viral reel about the book the guy wrote about how time traveling Trump.
Yeah.
And
there's an Elon that goes to Mars.
There's a Tesla. It's about Tesla.
Okay.
Tesla lived down the street, and he was saying he invented a time machine, and then something happened, and they went and cleaned out all his plans, and then this book, like, I showed it to my mom, and she was like,
there is a book that exists, a science fiction book where there's an Elon that goes to Mars, and a Trump becomes president, and his son,
Hold on, I'll
his
go
name is
turn
Barron.
that off
Yeah,
quick.
yeah. We'll be right back. Just so yeah, there's a book that exists. But I mean, maybe the father of Elon read that book, and this is where he got his name. But it's true, the whole Trump thing.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a
telling you, man,
lot
the word is
of
not
weird
that bad.
coincidences, though. I don't know. I haven't read the book, so I don't know. Maybe it's just like any
No one
document,
reads
they're
anything.
pulling just like
Yeah.
certain facts. I'm sure you can pull coincidences out of. This is the same way they responded to the new Superman movie. It's like it's about Israel. It's like I don't know.
I don't know.
Pretty sure there's a giant monster.
Also, it's Hollywood. You think they're gonna make a anti? I mean, come on. Anyways, that being said, it's funny that you said that you haven't read the book. No one reads anything. We all watch reels. Everything we get
Yeah.
is from reels. So that's what the world is reels.
I get most of my parenting stuff from reels, but it's like there's so much contradictory stuff. But then like my mom.
Can you give me an example?
I mean, there's different, like there's this whole gentle parenting thing, right? Where it's just like you have to like negotiate with your child and you
Yeah.
have to like sit him down and like when he's having a tantrum, you just have to go through. Like there's just so many ridiculous. It's like anything where as soon as you put it into practice, you're like, how the hell did this person come to this conclusion? I
weed
have
did they
this
smoke?
I have this Ewok shooting spears at me, and like you think I'm gonna And then there's like the tough parenting thing, which is a little bit more, I find is like a little bit more rational about it's like don't give them boundaries of okay, in 2 minutes we're gonna leave the park. It's like no, you pick them up and you put them in the car, and it's like they're not at that level where they can negotiate. They just need to know reactions and how how their behavior.
Yeah.
And then there's like all this. Okay, some people say you can start that kind of thing at like 2 years old, or you can start that kind of thing but like it's
No
all
one
just
agrees with that,
someone's experience, it's
Whatever
all
you're
just
gonna-
even the doctors are kind of struggling to.
No one
In the
knows.
end of the day, everybody comes out of their childhood differently based on
they all have
how their
trauma.
parents have cut corners. It's all
We all
about
have
where you
traumas.
decide to cut corners.
We all have traumas.
Yeah.
We all have limited resources. You're not a billionaire where you can hire
16 nannies
16 nannies
and
to
make them care.
That's the most.
That's
That's
because
why
you're
paying
hiring
them-
someone.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
if I would cut corners as the parent. It's like, and I know there's amazing
And you love
caring
your kids,
nannies
yeah,
out there,
yeah.
and you do the best you can. But it's like still like an employee. When have you worked anywhere where you haven't been like, how do I
You
get
know
a
what
bit
you
more
need?
time off?
You know what you need? AI nannies. That's the future. All these mediocre nannies, get the hell out of here. You've
That's
been replaced
amazing.
with
Now
robots.
my kid's not gonna have a Filipino accent. He's gonna be like, "Daddy, hi, nice to see you."
He's gonna speak
Sounds
in-
like a robot.
He's gonna speak in prompts. Daddy, you are not respecting the regulations of the.
Daddy, your tint is a little off. Are you feeling okay?
How much you want to bet? We're joking. In 20 years,
100%. Oh yeah.
all
Don't
those
even.
mediocre nannies, get out of here. Get out of here.
But
All
that's
those-
sad.
Instead of
The ones that are
Like how much does you hire a babysitter sometimes? Does that happen?
No, I mean we still have our parents
Our
around,
parents.
and also the kids are one of the kids is so attached. Like we do not get to both leave somewhere without it being a huge thing.
Wow.
It's Val's very good to be. Night times she generally stays home with the kids. I try to be there whenever I'm not doing this, and it's really tough. Like he's still sleeping in bed with us, and he's still.
How old is he? Oh yeah, the youngest one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
normal.
it's.
That's normal.
But I mean, he's almost 2 years old.
Yeah,
It's,
that's normal, no? Too.
yeah, it's normal. It's just we should be. We got to start making some moves to it. Like we're about to move our house.
Yeah.
Things are gonna change when we're in our own house. We have our own routine. Things are we're finally set.
Yeah.
We're gonna start fixing these kids. Like it's on the list. You know what I mean?
Listen, you're both very loving people. It's crazy. It's funny. Like you have these thoughts that as not a single, but as a guy with a girlfriend who has no kids, that never crossed my mind. And sometimes I feel like the amount of jokes I can write. I'm thinking
Oh,
like a
yeah.
psychopath. I'm like, oh my god, just my 2-year-old son. Oh my, is he too attached to my wife, to his mom? How will this affect him in the future?
But
Like,
there's like
should
it's funny because
we gotta parent them. What are you gonna do in the new house? It's insane. I don't have any of those thoughts. My only thoughts like, okay, which show can I do on the road? Which room am I about to book? I don't. Are you able to like now? You're in work mode. I assuming like you're gonna go performing. Are you thinking? Are they in the back of your mind
all the time.
Really?
There's a constant guilt wherever you are. It's like if I'm at the show, saying goodbye to them and going to do the show, it's like I know that this was always my passion and everybody in my life has been generally quite understanding of that, and they know it's almost like comedy is like a kid I had from a previous marriage. You know what I mean? It's like I can't just abandon. Like, yes, I love the crap out of my family, and like I'll be there for them all the time if everything's serious. But like if I can, I have to do this, and so it's kind of like I want to keep that thing alive. But and they understand that. But ultimately. There is always a guilt. Like when I'm here, just if they're having a rough day, if one of them is like, didn't come out of daycare happy or whatever, and then and I'm crying, he's crying, I'm crying when I leave. And when if he's crying when I leave, I feel like a little like, there's like always a pull. And at the same time, whenever I'm home with them and we're having a great time, there's always a pull of like, look what so-and-so's doing. You're not doing it. There's like the constant work FOMO as well. Yeah. So it's constantly like, you have like, you got to make this work. You got to juggle both. Like, I've always been a person that really needs to recharge. I need some time, a couple hours by myself to just like, to transfer from one energy into the other. But that's like another huge waste, it seems like a waste of time. So sometimes I'm just shooting myself from like family mode into work mode, back into family mode. And I'm dragging all the stress and crap from one to the other. And it just never offsets,
Wow.
So it's it can be really tough. And this is why lately I've been snapping at some people. Yeah. And I've been, you were calling me like the nice guy, and like I've been trying to be, I've always been very involved in the scene, but man.
Every comic, every open micer in the scene, every producer.
Take that toll again. Take that poll again in
episode 2.
I swear to God, I don't know how I'm polling right now.
As I said,
I've just been having like no patience for some people. It's crazy.
I guess maybe also it's also the age, you're getting older. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
You decided to deal with open micers even though you're at headliner level. That's on you. You have shows where you work with. I barely work with open micers. Whenever I run away.
I think
I think if you didn't work with them as much, you wouldn't have these issues. I work with a selected 4 or 5 killers. They're all killer comedians. I work with them all the time, maybe 10. I don't deal with like a new open micer who goes on stage who's like, oh, let me tell you about the Holocaust.
Well, I think it goes back to the same reason that I do the list, right? The mic list and the show list on the thing, and I'll every couple months I'll like, okay, what shows are people having there? Like hound people down, like nobody sends me the info. I got to go after them and find the info.
You're an architect.
And try to put the thing together, and I do it out of. It's not like selflessness. I've told many people this. It's selfishness. I do it because before. The list was a complete mess.
Oh yeah,
it was everybody when everybody had the ability to put their own show in. They put it all in crypt. Like this is something for people passing through town and for new micers to be pointed in the right direction and whatever. And this is like they're putting cryptic manifestos about their show, which ends up being like a hell room show up go up anyway. And it's like this is like the kind of vibes and like the no one has the same way to explain. None of the pertinent information is there. It was just such a mess, and coming up, in the scene, chaos. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And nobody would update their listing. No. They would change the show 7 times, and you'd show up, and it's not even the same venue. It makes no sense anymore. I was just like, "No." And when I started running shows, I was doing. I guess I was just trying to be a little bit more organized about it, and so like some of them were decent, and people would. And people coming in for town, especially when we started doing like Mondays, am I right? It was like, people from coming in, oh, there's a decent Monday show. And then because it was decent, every out-of-towner would be like, so what else should I do? And I had to type it out for them every time. And I was just like, okay, I'm making the list. Everybody send me your stupid crap. I'm going to put it, people would send me their manifestos. I would cut it down to 4 lines. I'm like, no, this
where,
is like,
who, when,
that's
why.
It. Screw off. This is not, you're not trying to get people, this isn't an ad for people to come watch the show. So many people that are producing are still trying to produce for other comedians to come watch the show. It's like, hey, I'm being pretty tongue-in-cheek with this ad. It's like none of the information is there for the client. It makes no sense.
Architect. But, Gabe, call this episode "The Architect" with Ben Cardilli.
Yeah, but that's like the same reason I would do. I would still like to run an open mic. Yeah? It's like I think like look, I am getting a little tired. Right now with like the different opinions of what comedy is. It's getting a little freaking nuts.
Let's talk
All right, you got
that.
yeah. You know what?
Let's talk about
Let's break my
that.
sobriety. Bring over whatever.
Oh,
Bring
God.
over a double Jameson right now. Let's get into this shit. No,
the future of comedy is more terrifying than the future of AI. Let me tell you that.
yeah, it's scary. It's scary. Some of the minds that like we let on the stage, and I have to. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna have to start censoring the show a little bit. Like I just don't. I respect my audience, and I know that there's different audiences for all kinds of comedy, and they're all over the world. I just know that Montreal, college town, French and English, right here, the audience we get is not for.
It's
some
not
of
Kill
this shit.
Tony.
It's not Kill Tony.
Okay,
If you
you
want,
can
if
go
you
on
want to
stage as
go
a
and do
white
the
guy
most
and say the
horrific,
N-word.
racist, crazy shit, like I'll start giving you a minute because that's what you like. That's the format
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
want, you know.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed working with.
That's
open
not a bad
micers.
idea.
I've enjoyed guiding people down
Yeah.
because I think there's an easy formula for becoming bookable, and I think there's an easy formula for. To fast track your career and just focus on your art and keep your head down and get into the right spaces and kind of like protect your art while learning how to service an audience because that is still your job and service the venue, which is still your job.
If you want to be a
know?
comedian, that's how you think.
So I like to take people that are brand new and give them a shot on this stage and show them how. And show them, and if it doesn't go the way they want, show them, well, this is just like, I'm not trying to affect anybody's art. I'm just trying to show them the steps they can take to sharpen their tools, and sometimes they take it, and sometimes they throw it back in my face, and they keep doing the stuff. And look, I'm not trying to affect your art, but I'm like, this space is really just for this. So I'm going to start putting like a...
And to these guys, to those new comedians, new open micers, who are big fans of Kill Tony, I get it.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that if you're not talented or if you're very new, you're the setup. And the comedians on the table, they're saying the punchline.
Yeah.
So you can say the most horrible things because they're going to come and save the show and get the laughter. So do you want to be a setup or you want to be a comedian?
Yeah.
So work on your jokes, work on your crafts, have setup, have punchlines, have jokes that resonate with people, that resonate with your own life.
Yeah.
Or just be a setup for a better comedian to make jokes about you.
Because to say that the interview went well, it's like, they took all the meat off the bone.
Exactly.
For sure. Like
They
they
killed.
loved the
You
internet.
didn't. Exactly.
Yeah, they loved the interview.
They killed. They have 500 years of experience between the six of them. They killed using you as the setup. What do you want to be?
And they made you feel good about it by throwing you a joke book. You get a little joke book, buddy. But but a lot of people are, and it's also like you look at. The problem is, like, I like the show. I watch the show. I think it's super entertaining. I think some of the pros that go on there, it's super fun to see some of the guests.
Yeah,
I see
there's some great talent that came out of the show.
I see. Tony is super, super sharp with the comebacks. You're just always impressed to see how fast his mind works.
Fantastic.
And
that's what he does.
The audience that's there, but they've let obviously, look, if you can get away with it, free speech, the whole, if you can get away with a joke, it works. They've taken it to the complete extreme with some people.
That's
and they,
fine.
there's some things about the show I have qualms about, but in the end of the day, it's the fact that, you see what it's creating right on the show. You see the open micers coming up and just opening with the, audience doesn't trust me. I don't look trusty. Opening, no character, just opening with the most heinous, racist shit. And you see people coming here and trying the same thing. And it's like,
it's not Kill Tony.
It's not Kill Tony. It's not even just that part of the country. You know what I mean? It's not.
I don't think it's country related because, dude, Kill Tony is giant here as well.
Yeah,
I think
it's big.
It's more, as I said, it's more, what do I want to say? The people that they're seeing, they're getting attention, but they're still bombing. So they're like, oh, this is my... They're developing a sense of humor based on
that
better
specific audience likes that shit,
I think you'll be surprised. That number is growing.
No, I know.
Crazy.
I like some of the
as
really
if-
dark stuff they have on there too.
Ben,
I'm just saying, but some of the things are...
We host a lot. So sometimes we'll host a show where a guy bombs, and then we'll go on stage and we'll say a joke about the guy, and that will get a
Sure,
laugh.
yeah.
Basically, this is what Tony is doing.
No, yeah, I'm not saying that's anything wrong
And
with
that's
that.
not a format.
I'm not
but
saying
that's
the
not
bullying.
a format for you as an open micer to follow. That's what I'm trying to say to the people is that watch actual go watch comedy non-Kill Tony related live comedy, and this is this is comedy. Kill
Sure.
Tony is a product all by itself.
It is.
That
It's
is
not. That's it.
adjacent
It's
to
not. It
stand-up
doesn't
comedy.
work into the thing. And a lot of comedians that want to I want to sharpen my thing to do well in Cult. This is the flip side of that I find kind of annoying is when You know, like I'll see a comic go up there that clearly has some chops, clearly actually has some good jokes, and it doesn't work. And Tony starts getting into them, and it's and they did everything. They didn't even fold under the pressure. Like they can up there, they're delivering their jokes. Like one doesn't land, they're like, let's move into the next thing. They go to and it's like well thought out stuff, and it doesn't work because it's not aggressive enough. Like it's literally just like I'm saying, there is a style that works on Kill Tony. That's why the open micers feel like they go up and they have to mention race within the first 10 seconds. They have to mention fucking
Is it funny?
incest.
Listen,
they
you know
have
me.
to mention. It's like
You know-
I like that stuff
Ben,
too.
Ben, you know me.
If
My
it's done
material-
well, I
Yeah,
like that stuff
exactly.
too.
You have to do it well. That's it.
But the problem is this isn't like when I'm talking to open micers, like this is not what I suggest anybody starts with in their it's kind of like a hacky place to start when everybody goes to like I need to shock an audience before I can make them laugh, or maybe if I shock them they'll laugh because they'll be uncomfortable and I'm feeling brave that I'm going to say this. Like look, I'm not talking about, you have really smart cool
Ben,
put together jokes, but a
I
lot of
I
these
started like these guys.
yeah,
I've started
I
like
mean,
these
I
guys.
started. I had
That
some
was, I
shocking
was
stuff
before
too.
Kill Tony.
But I'm just trying to get people to skip some of the stuff of like being.
The good ones,
You
will.
know?
The good ones will learn how to keep that edge while developing well-crafted jokes. That's again,
Because
you're in a tough
unfortunately,
position 'cause
some
you're an
people
artist
get
and
off.
a producer.
They get off on. I see the comics that get off on getting that reaction.
Yeah, but
and then that
they'll-
becomes the goal.
That-
And
yeah,
then
but
they
then
they
they'll
make their
stop
shit
getting
darker
booked.
and scarier and weirder. And then I'm just like, I can't subject my audience
Of
to some
course.
of this stuff.
And then you
I'm
stop
not trying to
booking
censor people based on like, look, any subject is fine if you can do it. There's people that we will house anything. Middle East jokes, freaking Holocaust jokes, all this, as long as it is handled well, as long as it is not just spouting freaking hate and bullshit, like
Ben, you're one of the few who's a producer and a comedian. So you have to use both. Like when you're on stage, you're a comedian.
yeah, I'm sure I'm biased in a certain way. I
And
just
you're
stuff I don't want to.
When you're producing a show and you're making the lineup, you have to think like a producer.
No, but
it's a tough place.
I go by my audience. In the end of the day, when I'm at a show,
As a
I'm not a
producer.
comedian. I'm a producer.
Yeah, of course.
And yes, I got to put on my comedian hat and run up. But when I'm doing the lineup, when I'm creating the space,
producer.
when I'm watching the other acts, I'm not watching the comedian. Because I've seen people go up that I think, like on the flip side, to go to I think that was actually a really funny joke. I think that it would work here, it would work here, it would work in different spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that person's really onto something with that. That being said, I can't have them back. Like,
yeah?
if that joke just always fucking tanks here. The audience hates them. They hiss. It turns the whole night around. People start getting. Then other people's jokes about the same subject don't work. And it's like, and I don't like that. There's a balance. Like there's like no censorship at all, which becomes chaos. And then there's like too much censorship. But I mean, somewhere in the line, just for me, all I've always preached is self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's just self-awareness. Look in the mirror, do the joke. It could be a brilliant joke, but sometimes in this point in your career, in this space, in this thing, looking back at you will never get a good reaction. And it's like you can save that for when you're a little bit more established, or you can save that for the third quarter of your hour, or you can save that for when you're on tour with this guy or in this town or whatever. It's like just always look at your audience, analyze the space, analyze your thing, and be like, okay, I've walked into rooms where I'm like, oh, I got 20 minutes. I already put out my set from this morning. But now I don't even do that. I walk on stage and I'm like, let's see what these people like first, and let's get into it.
Yeah, that's you becoming an excellent host. Well, you've always been a good host, but that's, I think, the job of a host is sometimes you'll take a hit. You're like, okay, let's try a little sex joke and see how they react.
Yeah.
And if they tense up, you're like, all right. When I watch a show, let's say I'm headlining a show, I watch the host, see, okay, how are they reacting to each subject? And also, I gauge how good is the host delivering that joke. So if he does a sex joke, but he doesn't do it well,
yeah,
I'm
sure.
like, okay, so
It's
I can't
yours
blame
to
the
try,
crowd.
yeah.
It's a fun job.
It is a fun job, but it makes it, like I have arguments with comics about like the art, right? And it's like never. There's some comics, that are very like never bend your
Then
laurels.
go do your own show.
And like exactly, it's
Go,
like
go
I need
book
to
your own room, build a building.
Exactly.
Where
Like
you
they're
can
gonna
go
come,
scream whatever you
don't
want.
like don't come wipe your ass with my show.
Yeah,
Like I need.
Very well said.
I
yeah.
need to. Like I respect your art, and I respect, but like if you decide this is my voice and this is what I want to do, like you have a set path in front of you, and you have to find that path.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing like, I'm trying to make sure that the show can continue. not get people furious at the venue and the whatever. Make sure that the audience keeps coming back and make sure everybody feels safe and heard. And I think you're allowed to talk about anything here. It's just you got to work up to that.
I think the problem is that now we're very lucky. Montreal has a lot of successful rooms that are packed with audience members who are here to laugh. When we started, there was like 2 rooms that were able to gather as many people as you do on a Monday. So I was doing.
I remember. Yeah. The pandemic was amazing for us.
I was able to bomb and to do my crazy material in front of 4 people. Yeah. And I didn't stop. I continued. I fine-tuned my craft, but I was bombing and I was saying terrible things in front of nobody.
Yeah, which is not really a read. It's not really a read. Like, because it could, with 4 people, it could go amazing one day, terrible the next day. You just
have to get that phase out of your system.
That's important. Yeah.
The thing is now, you have people who've been doing it for 2-3 months and they're coming to do 3 minutes. But they've been on stage 5 times. So they're still going through that phase. And
this is why I say I might need to make some changes, because in the end of the day,
another show.
I've always been. I think there will be another even kind of lower,
You've heard
more
it here
based
first, guys.
version show for the club. I mean, we've been thinking about it. Because this is the thing.
You like trauma? You like terrible words?
It's not just that. It's not that we're trying to. It's
the
like
trauma show hosted
when
by
we got
Ben
started.
Cardilli.
Like you were saying, we were talking to 4 people. Yeah. We were going to McLean's and seeing who we can get off the street, that's important.
So important.
That is important to have those, to get the words out, to know you love the craft enough to go out at 10:30 at night to do the thing. It is important to do all that, and that's why I still run new material mostly at these mics. Like, I still go there and see what can transcend, what can actually capture a distracted audience, what can actually like this. I rarely, only if the crowd is fantastic, am I subjecting them to the newest new, like I'm always like, I gotta go to Hurley's and figure it out. I gotta go to this place. I gotta go to places where, and sometimes those places are great. Sometimes you're surprised and you're like, oh crap, that's actually not the vibe that I would have. And you almost get pressured into doing your good stuff. And I'm like, no, okay, stay with the focus and do the new jokes and see what works. It's like, we're here for that, But here I would honestly, once in a while, because I have so much time, I'm hosting, I'll drop in something new. But if I'm doing like if I was to come here as like a new comic and do a set, I think I would still, especially like as a newer comic, like obviously you're a pro and we know you can do whatever you want, and your new jokes are gonna do better than some of their flagship jokes.
And you can say, the only thing that I have now is that I can, if let's say I do a joke that bombs terribly, it bombs. Yeah. I can save. Yeah. I won't ruin the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get laughs shitting on myself. I have so many tools I can bring out.
No, that's exactly
and
it.
Keep like, okay, that's a joke that didn't work.
You can navigate a new set like that. And I love watching pros kind of get through, like, I'm doing new jokes and they still sometimes have the set of the night. And that's like a whole thing. But I think that, when you're coming up to, when you're going on stage here as a new comic, I try to think like, we're all watching. Yeah. Like, you could be bookable quick if you stick to the hits and you develop them and you learn how to string them together. And like, you've seen some people come up really quickly, like Mo Mauji, very funny, very professional, super easy to be around. Immediately I saw, I think his I have him on tonight. I think his in French, your parcours, his destination, or his
he's getting
the
there.
way he's like, it was like already good, already interacting, and I guess
I see how I love Mo and I book him as well. Personally, I also like the crazies a little, because when I see the crazies, I'm not gonna say names, but there's a couple I'm like, you're crazy, but I see you grinding in the terrible rooms in the city. So
as long as you're doing it in the right avenues,
So I'll book you on my good night show, even though I know you'll go on stage, you'll alienate the crowd, but I know this is so temporary. You're doing the work that I did when I was your age, where you're like you're just vomiting everything, so you can get.
Yeah.
So I it's harder for you, but for me, I'm like I see these young kids and I believe in them.
You've always been more adventurous, and I think that's kind of cool. That I mean, like there is guidance for you no matter where you're sitting as a new comedian. Yeah, it's like if you want to take some of these people under your wing, then they couldn't be more they couldn't be more in better hands than having you show them, because you're also like you're like that. Let's push the envelope, but like also like work ethic, and this is how you accomplish what you actually want to accomplish, and this is how you self-analyze, and this is where you try things, and so there's that whole thing, and then there's I've always been a little bit more on the. I guess I've always been more on the safe side of, I'm really not trying to freak anybody out. Like, once in a while I like to drop a little something.
That frozen bodies joke, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
it's so raw. I mean, you're there. You just
I'm less and less. Like, it's funny.
You're becoming a dad and everything. Yeah. How can I say this? You're just so
It was
likable.
the cutest necrophilia.
It's still raw.
I'm really handling it with oven mitts. Okay.
You allow your mind to go there, which
I
sure. always like. But you're I'm a dirty comic. I accept it. I'm still likable. I still get laughs. I'm just my brain is just. I like the darkness.
You're not mean.
No.
The difference is you can be dark, but like you said, you can navigate trying these different elements and incorporating them, and still acknowledging there's a crowd in front of you. You can't just go full, I'm talking to my therapist. Like you have to keep them entertained, keep them with you, kind of like, oh, you didn't like that one, let's explain it a little further, or let's just like acknowledge it in some way that's like kind of funny, and set up your ability to try something else down the same vein or whatever. It's like it's not you can't ignore your audience. You can't just like
100%.
go up there and be completely like, it's like there's being an artist and there's being like selfish,
There's you have a joke, you have an idea. You could still do. I think I heard Louis. He was saying that. I forgot his name. What's the name of the guy who died? It was like I have a weird position about the war where I was pro the war but against the army. Bill Hicks. He was saying that he saw Bill Hicks bomb because Bill Hicks had just one direction. He's like, this is exactly how I feel. I'm going to say it exactly this way. And sometimes he would destroy. He was a prophet. And sometimes he would just bomb terribly. And Louis, he was saying that, like, this is where I learned, like, you could still get your idea across if you just notice who you're talking to. And I truly believe that. If you realize, like, I could still bring out that subject. Maybe, that tagline, I'll remove it. Or I'll instead of using harsh word, I'll soften the word.
Yeah,
I'll
wherever
still
you
get my
go,
idea
you
across.
change it a little bit. It's a guided conversation. It's not a performance strictly. It is a guided conversation. It is interesting. The audience reaction is part of the show.
Yeah, 100%. It's part of your performance as well. If you're smart enough, your 5-minute set, you can have 100 words. Yeah. Just because people are laughing nonstop.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I love this. This and making movies are the two things I love now.
This and robots.
This and nanny robots taking over the world.
I love it.
This is exciting.
That's incredible.
How long have we been recording? Let me look real quick. Oh, wow. 55 minutes. All right. We just have 10 more minutes and then...
Not bad.
I will remove 5 minutes of Joanna interrupting.
Let's just make it all Joanna. Joanna, come back here.
Here's what I think you need to do, Ben. If I may... You need to start doing more like headlining gigs. Yeah. Because you're there. You have your hour. You're building your second
I've done a few this year, and it's been really eye-opening.
Only this.
Yeah.
You have to do it's. But I swear to God, Ben, this is a comedy-heavy podcast. This is what happens when I speak with comedians. Headlining, I'm realizing I'm like an open mic headliner now. Yeah. In the sense that I know when you start open mic, like I know how to talk. I don't know how to be funny. Then you learn how to be a comedian. Now I'm a new headliner. I did it maybe 30, 40 times, whatever.
Oh, that's amazing.
But dude, it's still every time I go on stage, I learn something new.
I think you never will stop learning something new.
I think that's
right. I mean, that's the beauty of this thing is like you will always get sharper and sharper and sharper and sharper.
And it's
it's having confidence in yourself and putting yourself in those situations. I mean, that's I had a lot of admiration for. I was always saying that, and I was always like, "Oh, it's the whole practice what you preach thing," like because I was touring as a musician, and I was always like getting into comedy. I'm like, "Oh, I can perform so much more. I can't wait to get back to the point where I'm touring again. I love the road and all this stuff." And then I started having kids, and now it's it's like, you know, like we're in a situation where I want to get back on the road, but it's going to be another, you know, at least half a year before like anything, you know, out of town gigs.
I hope
really real out of town
hope-
gigs. But
I
I'm
hope
starting
you
to
do
do
it.
it here. So I'm really happy that like I'm trying to record my next thing. You know, that's
Yeah.
the next thing is I want to record
Don't.
either an album
Can I give you advice? Don't.
until you've toured it.
Go tour with it because it will change. Like you already have your first one. Go tour with the second one.
Yeah.
Just tighten it.
The problem is, and I get that 100%. Like I've been trying to just like this time. The first time I literally had a bunch of jokes. I put them in an order, and I went up to record. Almost never having done it that long in that order before.
crazy.
You know, I literally had a page on stage, and I was just like, and I even like swapped two around, and I was like, oh fuck, and then like I kind of just like you never notice it in the
Yeah.
recording because like you know I edit it, but the this one it's like I've actually been doing like work in progress shows, right? Which is just like I get an audience out, I just test
the-
a new
the French
order, I
scene do that
change
a
a
lot.
whole
That's
thing.
very smart.
But honestly,
People doing that.
I've been having a blast, and I realized that like I can keep an audience happy for an hour. It's like it's and yes, there's a little bit of give and take. There's a little bit of win and loss.
Yeah.
But like it's getting better every time. Like I have you know, and I have been. It's just putting the jokes out like that
Yeah.
and preparing for a work in progress show has changed the jokes because then I realized once I put them in an order, I'm like, oh, this order actually makes sense. I started going and adding in callback tags, all this like stuff, and then that started changing even my small sets. So it's like just aspiring for an hour has made me better at a 15. You know, like it's like there's so much more happening. There's so much more dynamic between the jokes. You know,
Doing the road, not only will you fold the metal to get it more pure and get the jokes better, also your experience as a host is going to be so valuable when you're headlining. Because when sometimes when I'm headlining, it's as if I'm recording an album. Like when I went to Halifax, it was a perfect setup. The room was made for comedy.
and they're attentive, and you don't have to do hosting. Right?
I just have to. I went and I pressed played, and then if there was any crowd interaction, I knew exactly. Like I was laser focused. I knew exactly how
Right.
to get my laughter. Some shows, because I do small towns across.
Yeah.
Dude, some shows it's insane.
Yeah.
Like it's a.
They want to be
fantastic show.
part of it.
They want to be part of the
They
show.
have to be, yeah.
I'm doing 55 minutes. I swear to God, I
You
did a
get to
show
do
once.
15 minutes of jokes.
Not even. I did a show once.
I did one like that once.
Where I think I did maybe 7 minutes of material and 45 minutes of the crowd work. Everybody had fun,
Yeah.
but it was so tiring, and I'm so happy.
But now you can go back to that town.
I told them,
with
like,
the
guys,
same hour.
I can come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Pack the
We can do this
same
all
fucking
week.
small
Try the
theater.
veal.
It is. But that's, I think it's half the fun because,
Yeah.
especially when you're headlining, you're like, I'm not gonna bomb.
Yeah.
I won't allow myself to. There, like bombing is not even a possible. I worked so
Well-
hard just selling tickets, promoting,
Exactly,
adding
yeah.
hours. Forget just writing jokes. Just to first, because I'm producing everything under my own name.
Yeah.
There's not a brand sending me. It's not a club who booked me. Like you're leaving having fun. Maybe you won't get to hear a single joke because you guys are crazy. I had a woman throw a fake titty at me. She had cancer and she has no, so she took out whatever, like a tricoté, what do you call it, a knitted thing.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't.
It was a knitted thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It wasn't like a.
yeah. I put it in my mouth, bro. I was disgusting. Anyway,
Jesus. And now you have cancer. That's all.
I hope not, Jesus. But
Oh,
in the
God.
sense that the road at our level, there's few places I can recommend where it's like just straightforward.
Oh, yeah.
And you go and have, but some of them you're like, all right, you have to. And what's crazy is that you're so present.
Mm-hmm.
You're so present. You can't think of anything else because they're just waiting for you.
Yeah.
And you just gotta, oh. Ooh,
But it's
like
nice because a lot of places out of like Montreal is like one of the hardest places to
Oh, yeah, 100%.
perform because it's just
Yeah.
like just from the language divide, just from the politics, just from everything about it makes it, you know, and just from the amount of other shit you could be doing.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
a lot of people
that's-
come here and struggle, and I think that when we go elsewhere, we usually kill. You know.
And I see that also when I see comics from out of town coming from big cities, Toronto, and I'm like, oof,
Yeah, because that's also very. It's like they have it's a very one-minded city, right? It's very
Yeah.
like business get to your. So the voices are very similar.
Similar. It's so clicky. I find we're not as clicky in
I
Montreal.
feel like
We're
there's a
clicky.
lot of ranting without like thinking,
Punchlines.
without fleshing out the joke.
Where's the punchline?
Like, there's some amazing writers in Toronto, some amazing comedians. Like it's
Yeah.
funny because there's some of the top, And then there's so much. It's just a different
middle
kind of
is
open
so
micer,
bad.
you know? Yeah, the middle is tough. But, you know, when I was explaining to comedians, you know, it's that thing about trusting yourself and taking the leap of faith. I know so many amazing comedians that don't, that are afraid, that absolutely can.
It's
but are
stupidity.
afraid to put themselves in like a spotlight situation. That's
Ben.
why when Sid was doing the spotlight
Yeah.
shows, it was
Yeah.
very interesting to see people. It was a nice thing to force people to step up to
Yeah.
those kind of things.
But it's
because
sheer stupidity.
Yeah.
I want to point it out. The fact that I believe that I could headline come from nowhere. It's the same stupidity that made me go like, I don't need to have a $100,000 a
but
year job being an
once
engineer.
in a while, you see someone who's like doing a tour coming into headline, and you're like, "Oh, what the fuck? Who told that person they can tell a single joke?" And then you're like, "Well, I can try at least. I can at least print up some fucking posters." And like, you know, when I had the audacity to record a special 4 years into comedy, you know,
Yeah.
just
It's
because
pretty good. You got the
I mean, like,
laughs.
look, again, the only reason I'm, you know, like I want to rush to record a new thing is because like the way my life works, I'm just talking about my life, and
Yeah,
the way
of
it
course,
moves,
yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
I can't be talking about having a baby.
Yeah, it's
Much
true.
longer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're two
Yeah.
toddlers and all this stuff. And that was like before I had kids. I had to get rid of it, and I had to be like, look, I have all these jokes about never wanting kids, and there's a bun in the fucking oven. I gotta get this bun in the oven. I gotta
Yeah.
get my special going just to burn some of this stuff so I can move on. And the main thing I learned from it was like, yeah, it's like I was so focused on the production aspects and my friends and like organizing this ragtag team of, you know, and I was really lucky with who came out to put it together. And it's like, it'll always be this fun, like, it's not up there against some of these.
It's
pro
your first
specials,
album.
but that's it. And it'll always look back and like, you know, you learn your bad habits, like saying like too much, saying this too much, all this stuff, you know, when you're editing, you're like, what the fuck? I'm asking all these questions. I shouldn't be doing this. And then, but in the end of the day, the exciting part of it was the fact that the audience picks up on that, whether you're the headliner and they realize that you're their last chance to have fun that night.
Yeah.
You know, like when you go up as a headliner, someone presents you, that's when I was like, oh, this will always be a little easier than being the opener. Or being the
I
host,
personally
you know?
believe being the headliner is easier.
It's
easier
way
than,
easier. And when you
yeah.
put a recording element in there and people see cameras and they see things and they're like, oh, we have a job tonight. And like, honestly, anybody who is nervous.
Everybody's performing.
Yeah. All these pro comics in our city who are unbelievable but they still get hit with these Montreal audiences where sometimes this brilliant joke doesn't work really, this and that. It's like when you're recording, a lot of that goes away. Like it will hit. They will give you the benefit of the doubt. And like, as long as you promote it to the right people and they get that, and you have a host that really makes them understand, like, this is a big deal. We're going to be taping this thing. Like, you can trust this person. Because that's the trust thing, right? Yeah. It's like anything that goes toward the further of the trust toward between the audience and the comedian. And it's like, this person is at a level where they're recording something that they've worked on. I'm going to trust that these jokes have worked in the past, and I'm not going to be an asshole for laughing at them. Yeah. Like, this is a quality product we're going to get tonight, and I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt all the way through, and that's the vibe. And it's like, I just encourage everybody to just, like, who's been sitting on killer shit, 40 minutes of killer shit, get your shit on wax.
You heard it here first, guys. More Holocaust jokes.
Get that money. Get that Sirius XM money.
Oh my God, I need to speak with you about that. I need to find a way to get some of that Sirius XM money. Well, anyways. This is.
I'm sure there's a AI way to
get it without him knowing. Send me cash. Ben, is there anything you want to plug in before we say salam alaikum?
I mean, I'm just.
What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is at Ben Cardilli, Cardilli, and I'm here at McKibbin's Irish Pub every Monday and
Tuesdays,
hosting some really fun shows.
Come see it, guys. It's a fun show. If I wasn't having my own show on Tuesday, I was here pretty much every other week doing my spot. So, guys, Ben Cardilli, tickets, mtlcomedyclub.com. Follow him. Go watch his old special and then tell him about his new jokes.
Yeah, go check out my emo haircut in my old special.
Check out his hair, honestly. And, guys, thank you so much for listening. Tune in every week and come see me on the road. Next month, I'm going to be in Sault Ste. Marie, in New Liskeard, and in Sudbury. So, guys, come check me out. And, that's it. Thank you so much. I love you, Gabe. I love you, Eugene. Bye, everybody. Bye.